I found the proceeding interesting. It's interesting, too, the final argument, the last 2 minutes of the argument, is the Solicitor General saying that this would work well, just as it does in Massachusetts, to cover everybody. That did bring a little bit of a murmur in the courtroom. But as you listen to the argument on the question of constitutionality today, it's very obvious that if this law is unconstitutional, then tomorrow somebody could come and attack Social Security for the same reason. That would be unconstitutional. Or people like myself who buy insurance but also have to pay Medicare, we could say, well, Medicare is unconstitutional because why should I have to pay for that when I'm also paying for private insurance? You can go through all of these examples. If this is unconstitutional, the argument can be made all the rest of them are unconstitutional. I don't think that's what the American public wants. I'm not sure that that is the kind of issue the Supreme Court want to unleash on Americans. You know, I never try to speculate just looking at the justices on the questions they ask. It was interesting, some of the things that were said. It was Justice Breyer referenced one case where if Justice Scalia was consistent with the way he ruled in that case, as the marijuana case, he'd have to uphold the health care legislation. I found more interesting that kind of going back and forth. And the court, today we're arguing the constitutionality. I think it's a clear-cut case. I think you have to really stretch to say this was unconstitutional, but Social Security, for example, or Medicare is constitutional. If you say this is unconstitutional, then you've got to say Social Security and Medicare are also unconstitutional. I'm not sure the court's prepared to do that. We passed the law, and I think we have a real interest in seeing what they do. I want to hear what the arguments are. I'm a member of the Supreme Court bar. I wanted to hear it in that capacity, and as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, just how they react. I picked this particular one, the argument over the constitutionality, because it affects just about everything else we do in the Judiciary Committee and others. I wanted to hear how they react to it. Well, I'd be interested. I don't see anybody in the House Republicans, other than the rhetoric, introducing legislation to wipe out this health care. I don't think they want to go to parents and say, we're going to wipe out your ability to have your children on your policy while they're at college. I don't think they want to go and say, we're going to wipe this out so tough if you've got a pre-existing condition, you're not going to be able to get health care, and on and on. They'd rather talk about it, but not go against it. As I said, the last minute of the argument, as they said, just as we proved in Massachusetts, where you have to insure everybody, that's the only way it works. Our strategy, of course, was to pass the bill in the first place. And if they don't oppose it, then we'll see where I suspect will be a major issue in the elections, congressional and presidential, this fall. You're not going to see a year, if they come down in June, July, or whatever, you're not going to see then the ability to do the whole year's debate in the Congress. The debate will be with the American people this fall. There's a lot more to a strategy just saying repeal, repeal, repeal. That's easy to say, but it's easy for them to say, but I don't see a single one of these people say repeal, 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 go on the floor and say, let's do it piecemeal. Let's do away with having your college-age kid on your insurance policy.
Right.
Let's do away with this pre-existing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, repeal is a bumper sticker. It is not a policy.